As Edith Piaf told it, the story of her life began literally on the streets of Paris. On a December morning in 1915, Edith's mother, already in labour, went into the street in front of her apartment building looking for her husband.
Well, she was in the street, I think, because she felt she was going to have this baby. And she thought she'd better see if her husband was on his way. And he was supposed to be on his way there, but he was stopping at every bistro and having a drink, so he was a bit delayed. That's the story.
Two passing police officers comforted Edith's mother, and the baby arrived before her father did, on the pavement in front of 72 Rue de Belleville.
Well, it wasn't true at all, but she liked to believe that. There must be a legend everywhere, and everybody who doesn't know much about her, they still believe this. But I've got the documents from the local big hospital where she was born, but reality is very boring, really. Much better keep to the legend.
I think that she herself didn't know where, in which conditions she was born. So she understood that people telling that she was born on the street made the story more beautiful, you know, and more miserable as well.
But singing couldn't stave off the inevitable. On the 10th of April 1963, Piaf was rushed to hospital where an edema of the lung was diagnosed. She fell into a coma for 2 weeks. When she was well enough, Serapeau took her to the south of France to recover. She never sang in public again. On the 9th of October 1963, she slipped into another coma and died the next afternoon. But France wasn't to learn of its loss for another day. First, Piaf had to return to Paris.
She was a kid of Paris. So once she was dead, they carried the corpse in an ambulance and drove back to Paris, and the death certificate was made in Paris the day after. She didn't die the date it's written on the death certificate, but the day before, you know, and not in Paris, but in the south.
You couldn't have this great French star dying in a little Provençal village. Serapeau transported her secretly at night in a car so that it could be given out in Paris the next day. Madame Piaf est morte à Paris. She had to die in Paris. She was so closely associated with her.
So I think that was the final point of the legend.